if we told you that the mainstream and access media are getting the entire Hulu story wrong? What if we told you that the Walt Disney Company has put out the most optimistic, if you will, deceptive, if you want, public statement that indicates they're going to pay an amount that they're not going to pay for Hulu? No! Disney is saying they're going to pay less than it appears they're contractually obligated to pay. And yet, because Disney said so, the mainstream media is saying, don't you know, that's the amount in truth, in final, the total. Well, we're here to tell you it's not even close to the final, and we don't know what the number might be, but it's going to be more, probably a lot more, and we're going to explain all of this craziness and show you yet again why you just can't trust the mainstream and access media anymore. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video of excellence here on the WDW Pro channel. Why is it excellent? Well, because you're here. You invite us onto your devices to share our time with you, and we appreciate it truly. We are where Holly Weird wakes up to the woke that has caused them to go broke. And folks, that's what we're taking a look at right now, as Disney is looking to pay a lot of money for Hulu. But Disney doesn't want to say exactly what they're going to pay to Comcast. No, Disney wants to paint a very rosy picture prior to their next earnings report because they want investors to like them. And the access media and the mainstream media, well, they're doing the bidding of the mouse because they are reporting the PR release as if it is, in fact, the absolute truth. We're here to tell you we don't think it is. We have convened a panel today that we think will express exactly what's going on, break it down to you in a way that you will suddenly know how far ahead you are, the culture curve. We're going to explain entertainment as we always do right here. Get ready, folks. Strap in. And for those of you out there, you journalists out there, get your notepad out. It's time to take some notes. We're going to explain it all right now. Disney to acquire remaining stake in Hulu for expected $8.6 billion because CNN bought the whole thing lock, stock, and barrel. Here's what they say. Disney will acquire Comcast's one-third stake in Hulu for an expected $8.61 billion, the company said Wednesday, in a deal that will put the streaming service entirely inside the Magic Kingdom when the transaction closes later this year. The acquisition of Comcast's stake in Hulu at fair market value will further Disney's streaming objectives, the company said in a short statement. Wednesday's deal brings an end to the long-running speculation about the fate of Hulu. Oh, does it? But still requires an appraisal process that is expected to be completed in 2024 to further assess the streaming service's fair value before a final sale price tag is agreed. Well. Ladies and gentlemen, let us present to you what we in the business call the truth. This by Todd Spangler. Disney expects to pay Comcast at least $8.6 billion to buy out Hulu stake. Final price tag could be higher.
Todd Spangler. Right. Todd Spangler from Variety. He's always got. He's one of the best streaming news reporters out there, and I love the way he talks about this stuff. At least, so many ignored that part of the headline there. At least
walk through it, Jonas. And Jonas, you've got something I think that you're ready to show. Is that what I think it is on your screen that you're ready to show us?
Oh no, that was the Loki figures. We covered that though.
Okay, go ahead with your assessment then of how this works, and I'll pull up something you had earlier.
Well, this is almost verbatim what the Walt Disney Company put out here, where the quote marks start. Under the terms of the sale arrangement by December 1st, Disney said it anticipates that it will pay Comcast approximately $8.61 billion, representing NBC Universal's one-third stake of the $27.5 billion guaranteed floor value of Hulu that was set in 2019. Well, as many people have noted, that 33% of $27.5 billion, that's $9 billion at least. Oh, hey, look at it. Right there.
That's right. In fact, here's exactly what you said, Jonas. I'll say it just like you would. Disney issued a PR saying they'll buy 33% of Hulu held by Comcast / NBC Comcast Universal at $8.61 billion. And then you, Jonas, you cognizant, prescient person, you said, I can't help but notice that amount is less than 33% of $27.5 billion, which is the floor valuation according to the contract, which would be at the floor level $9.07 billion. They're also going to pay the difference. So what is the point of this press release? And then you highlighted down here Disney will pay NBCU its percentage of the difference between the equity fair value and the guaranteed floor value. Jonas, and then I want to go to Mike after this because, Mike, you're kind of a financial guy yourself. I don't know if folks out there know that, but Jonas, explain this to the crew out there, everybody who's watching right now. Why does this matter? Break it down in terms of why does this matter? How does it actually impact Disney? And what's being done for gamesmanship?
Well, that's basically it. It is gamesmanship. I have a contact that I am able to reach out to on occasion that represents the other side of this issue. And what I'm looking forward to is Comcast's press release saying what the actual what they believe the value of Hulu is. All this is Disney trying to get the narrative out there that it is $8.61 billion. They don't get to set the price on Hulu, and the only issue here is the only issue they're pointing back to is the contract from 2019. They have no sway whatsoever. It'll be set by Morgan Stanley and JP Morgan. Morgan Stanley being the this is where I always stumble because we got Morgan and Morgan, not to be confused with the law firm in Florida. We got too many Morgans. The one that is hired by Disney valued it at around $27.5 billion. They agreed with that valuation. And the one that is hired by Comcast, JP Morgan, I do believe. If they value it at anything higher than $30.5 billion, it automatically triggers a scenario where a third investment bank has to be pulled in. So this is nowhere near settled because I can't imagine that second investment bank being within that 10% threshold. So this is just them saying, we are saying what the price is, regardless of what Comcast sets the price as. And Comcast is going to say, no, our figure is actually $70 billion for the value of Hulu. So this game is nowhere near over. It has just started.
So let me go to Mike now. Mike, we had heard for quite a while that Disney wanted to, and that they already have essentially on the back end integrated Hulu into Disney Plus, and that they wanted to click the button. They wanted to turn over the wire and have this suddenly appear Hulu inside Disney Plus in December. Everything that I'm seeing now looks like that's going to be more difficult. It just seems like this was not going as planned. It seems like the companies are still far apart. Seems like arbitration is going to be messy. And when they say sometime in 2024, that does not generate a whole lot of confidence on my end. What do you think, Mike, is actually going on behind the scenes when it comes to this Hulu deal with Disney and Comcast?
Everything that Jonas said, it's exactly what's happening. So I have nothing new to add other than to say that I'm pretty pissed off as an investor because one of the three things that Bob needs to talk about in 1 week are my dividend, which no one's seen a dividend since 2019. I was hoping to hear that what the plan was on this Comcast deal, and now that just got kicked down the road. And I want to hear if Nielsen's bringing 1, 2, or 3 board members on the team. Those are the three things. So when I heard this news release and I read it, I was pretty pissed off and annoyed because what they're doing is they're doing exactly what Jonas says. They're kicking this down the street. It's like they're issuing a press release now, knowing that Comcast isn't going to respond because there's no point in responding because there's valuation analysts. It's like before 2 days ago, we knew that they have to come up with the pricing and the deal and they have to finance it. By now doing, a press release by saying, hey, we're going to come up with the valuation sometime in the next year. Who knows what that number is going to be? Could be 10, could be 8, could be 12, could be whatever. But the more important point is that by kicking it down the road, now Bob doesn't have to answer any questions about how he was going to finance this thing at all.
And when is he going to have to answer that question?
Well, it would have been a week from today. But now what's going to happen is that when this question comes up, he'll simply be dismissive and he'll say, well, as you may have seen in our announcement last week being this week, in our announcement last week, we're going to go ahead and be picking up that 1/3 ownership of Hulu. And depending on how the valuation pricing comes back, we'll be paying 8.6. Let me translate that for the people playing at home. I have no freaking idea how much this thing's really going to cost in the end. I have no idea how I'm going to pay for it. And by issuing the press announcement last week, I'm praying to God you guys leave me alone and don't press me on the issue today.
He's on record on this one as well. Bob Iger even said in his book that he likes to lead by press release. He likes to make the big news out there and let everybody fall in line and let the chips fall where they may. He likes to say, no, we already said it publicly. Therefore, this is what we are going to do.
Let me bounce this off of Derek. Go ahead, Jonas, with your thought.
No, that he's a communicator, and where he does battle is with words, because it's definitely not in business acumen.
Let me bounce this off of Derek, and then we have an esteemed guest who'll be coming on the panel in just a few moments. But Derek, with them coming out and making this statement, and then there's that little clause in there that changes everything, right? That's the whole idea of the snake in the garden, is you slip that clause in, and suddenly the truth is not quite the truth that it was. But Derek, do you think this is deceptive? Do you think it's going to fool any investors out there? Do you think everybody is sort of onto the game of Disney now?
I mean, I think they should be. If they're not, Bob Iger is a politician. That's what politicians do. They do everything that Mike just said. They, try to smooth their way around a situation that they know is going to be difficult. They, talk out of both sides of their mouths. I mean, that's basically what Bob Iger has been. He was talking about, running for president or something, I think, at one point in time, probably gave that up. But yeah, the guy's a politician. That's why they like him up there, because he's good with his words. He's quick on his feet to, kind of dance around a difficult situation. I don't think this is going to end well, obviously, because once Morgan Stanley comes out with that valuation and said, oh, no, we think it's this, everybody's going to be looking at Bob, but wait, Bob, what happened to that number? And then he's going to find a way to dance around that one at that point. So, we're going to just continue to see this type of activity from Disney as long as Bob Iger is the CEO of the company. And guess what? You see what's going on with Disney. You see how bad things are. This is all due to people like Bob Iger, all of these executives that, they just want to play, politics in the media and not actually get down to the business of making money. It's absolutely sad, man.
Culture, final thoughts on the Hulu deal?
I fully expect them to have to write somewhere around a $13 billion check for this last third.
Yeah, same here.
Yep. That's where I'm guessing. I'm guessing 15, but
and apparently they don't want to say it.
Sounds reasonable too.
Apparently they don't want to say it because that they're not saying it.
But here's the thing, and I think one of the reasons they don't want to say it is because the India mess isn't cleaned up yet, because they've got to sell off their India assets so they can actually have a little bit more money. Because
whoa, wait a minute, that is a point right there. Let's pause on that, Culture, because if you're right, what you're suggesting is that because of the India Hotstar deal, they don't have the assets in place like they anticipated, and they're actually trying to gum up the works with the deal with Comcast, not in order to get a lower price, but in order to slow this thing down so they can try to offload.
Well, as our friend the DA here presented, and I think Michael backed me up, they're getting valuations from two different. And if they don't agree, come to a consensus, Mike, they go to a third one, right?
Yep.
Fantastic points. I had not thought about the Hotstar issue. Fantastic point, guys. And with that, I'm afraid we have come to the end once again, but a new video shines at the end of every day. So don't worry, folks. Yes, at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and almost every day, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, we do release a new video here on the WDW Pro channel, explaining entertainment and keeping you ahead of the culture curve. It's what we do. We love it. We want to do it. It's a passion and a joy. We don't take it for granted either that you all support us and you are the electricity. And if you'd like to be even more gigawatts to doing that, well, consider clicking the like button, share, subscribe, and when you click it, you stick it to the algorithms. It's the notification bell. Drop a comment down below. Let us know what you think about this particular story. Are you shocked? Are you surprised that Bob Iger and the crew might be just a little bit misleading? I don't think you are, because you are savvy. All right, all you savvy folks out there, all of those of you who learned along with us today, wherever you are and whatever you're doing, keep learning, keep growing. And you know what? If you do that, you'll keep having fun.